Meanwhile, experts reacted to Australia's decision to build nuclear-powered submarines for the first time, a major strategic shift as the country weighs strengthening defenses against a rising China. International Security Program Director at the Lowy Institute Sam Roggeveen told AFP that the announcement came as a bit of a shock to most observers and marked a significant escalation in military involvement in the region.
I do. I think this is a significant escalation on the part of these of Australia and the United Kingdom and the US, because it introduces a significant new military capability into the region, or at least it will eventually. So it's unlikely to be viewed as anything but a move against China in Beijing, and I think they'll. I'm not surprised. I won't be surprised if they don't take it well. We're basically throwing in our lot with the United States and its strategy against China, because it is much harder in the light of an agreement like this for Australia to take a more independent stance against China, or with relation to China, rather than to basically throw our lot in with the United States. That gets harder now because of this deal. There are only 6 countries in the world that operate nuclear-powered submarines, and all 6 of those countries also have massive civilian nuclear infrastructure and all have nuclear weapons. So, you know, this is a major global step. And I think the implications for the region are actually that it lowers the barriers a little bit for other countries to consider doing something similar. So, you know, there was a period of time when Australian leaders would say that our security was to be found in Asia, not from Asia. But this agreement doesn't look like that. It looks like a throwback to something earlier.
Absolutely surprising. I wouldn't say shocking. It's a very welcome development, and I think comes on the back of long-standing Australian requests for greater access to US technical know-how and for greater bilateral two-way defence industrial cooperation. It now appears willing to empower its close allies and partners through technical assistance in ways that previously many Australian strategists could only have dreamed of. No one really thought it was likely that we were going to get nuclear propulsion technology from the United States in any short-term horizon. The total of all of this is really for countries that share and value a stable Indo-Pacific that is rule-governed and backed by a robust military balance of power to come together and to deal with the consequences of China's rise and America's relative military decline. It will then try to convince Southeast Asian countries and others across the Indo-Pacific that they ought to distance themselves from the trilateral partners, because they will only get regional countries into conflict and trouble down the line. These are familiar Chinese talking points. They are what China goes to after any expansion of military or strategic initiatives by Australia in recent years. The problem with those talking points is they are ringing hollow increasingly across Southeast Asia and across the Indo-Pacific as